Dear ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ryan, thank you for your and for your visits to Ukraine to see how important it is to win now, to prevail over the Russian war and terror, to win so that the words said in the 20th century remain valid and relevant today. Strategy for peace has always been simple. Be strong enough, be within given for a moment that war might pay. These are the words of Ronald Reagan, and he said this in 1988. To repeat them now, here, on the eve of the NATO summit in Washington. Time passes, but more and more people reflect. These are the words about America, which the world values, is grateful to, wants to see leading the world as only America can. Reagan delivered this speech on February 23. The next February date, the 24th, of the greatest challenge both to Reagan's legacy and to the rules-based world order, the order that President Reagan wanted to preserve at any time. Is it preserved now? Ladies and gentlemen, let's be, and I want to be, is waiting for November. Americans are waiting for November in Europe, Middle East, in the Pacific, the whole too, but killing and destroying to get ready, to be ready for everything what November might bring. Even the anniversary NATO summit, which should become a top event, does not indeed look strong in the media in contrast to what is expected from November. A historic event, but it is in the shadows of another story. It's time to step out of the shadows, to make strong decisions work, to act and not to wait for November or any other month to this end. We must be strong and uncompromising all together. And first of all, America, and uncompromising in defending democracy, uncompromising against Putin and his coterie, uncompromising to every possible terror. Exactly what all Ukrainians were on the 24th of February 2022. Millions of the people of the world and millions of Americans, exactly what President Biden. Thank you. And when Putin decided to break everything dear to us, we all acted as one. We didn't wait a single day and even minute. We were surviving every day, and we could lose. And democracy can win even when it seemed impossible. Then what happened now? When did it step into the shadows? To delay, then act. That partial solutions are better than victory. And when it started to appear that to defend freedom is allegedly put Putin in place for blackmailing the whole world is allegedly unprofitable. When and why did it happen? The world cannot be a leader and a world dream maker without caring for world affairs. America should not shy away from its strengths. It is America that values America. America which acts. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 35 years since President Reagan left the White House, and this is what was imprinted in world history, in the experience that was gained then and still helps us today. And even Reagan's words came from what America did and how correctly America used time. As a result, in our European history and in US, he still does, and he had it. And now we all need exactly this. Leadership that does not wait for any day strongly so that life wins, and so that our enemies such as Putin fear our actions. A few examples for you. In May, an important victory. We stopped the Russian advance on Kharkiv, the second largest Ukrainian city, located very close to the Russian border, arranged to shell Kharkiv. But the courage of our men and women, as well as the American permission to strike military targets in Russia. To you, I'm grateful to President Biden for this permission and to everyone in the Congress who helped. This Russian advance has been hitting Kharkiv for more than 2 years on a daily basis. And this gave Kharkiv protection from missile strikes. Imagine how much we can achieve when all limitations are lifted. Similarly, now we can protect our cities from Russian gun allows us to destroy Russian military aircrafts on their bases. This will also yield an instant result. And we are waiting for this step. Southern Ukraine and push the occupier out of there if American leadership assists us with the necessary deep strike capabilities against Russian military. And we are talking about this to all our partners, and all these steps would strengthen us as today exceptional decision of the US and partners to provide air defense interceptors for Ukraine. Ukrainian people are grateful for that. Thank you so much. And our actions to attain peace. We held the first peace summit attended by 101 countries and international organizations, and I'm grateful to the US for participating, pair with Kim Jong-un, just to have more artillery, missiles, and mines so that Russia can hold on at least until the end of the year. Although he does receive weapons, Putin still shows how much weaker the conspiracy of dictators is compared to the power this year based on the peace formula, even more powerful and truly decisive. We need the support from the US. Ladies and gentlemen, today in several of our Ukrainian cities, Kiev, Kryvyi Rih, a mourning was announced in memory of the victims, and during rush hour more than 40 missiles of various types. One hit a children's hospital, specialized hospital with cancer, heart diseases. 43 people were killed by this attack, almost 200 wounded. Russia always knows where its missiles hit, always. A direct hit and the hospital building, these doctors, ordinary people, rescuers, all together clearing the debris, trying to save as many. Did anyone who found themselves under the rubble ready to wait months? No, of course not, because alive. When it is needed to beat enemies, you beat enemies. You act, you prevail. This is how you win wars. And this is who Ukrainians are. And that is why I'm proud of Ukrainians, and I'm proud to be Ukrainian. And this is how we... How much longer can Putin last? The answer to this question is right here in Washington. Your leadership, your actions, your choice, the choice to act now. And even these days, at NATO summit, and when we are counting on them. For 75 years, Europeans could be confident that no matter the friction within the alliance, no one, when talking to Russia, would trade the membership of European nations. But why does Moscow hope for this? Is a NATO member cause more fear? Not in Moscow. For decades, the world has relied on borders. But will these principles remain in force? We, in Ukraine, and all other neighbors of Russia, including those to whom America has alliance commitments, need answers. Our people are doing their best, the best of what is available to us in Ukraine. The harder it is for Putin to make war. He still thinks that war might pay. He still thinks that the lives of free nations. His personal story must finally end so that the story of peace becomes lasting. Together with America, the world is capable of doing the right things. And when we all act strong enough, determined enough, Putin's can repel. Because America, as you know, is too great for small deeds. Don't wait months. America can be great every day. Thank you so much for your support.
The last time we talked, it was on the 2-year anniversary of the war in eastern Ukraine, about a mile from Russian forces on the front lines. A lot different environment here without artillery coming and going. As this has developed since I last saw you 6 months ago,
Putin wanted very much to occupy us quickly. Thank you so much for the decision, bipartisan decision of the package. And it was very worrying. Yeah, it was equipped our brigades. But always we have this challenge that from the moment of decision to the moment of equipment, you stood and understands. So he has this information. He wanted to use this pause in more than half a year pause. Quickly, Kharkiv, where 1,500,000 people live now, very near to the border, but they live. And he attacked them and push people to run out. That is the goal for him. He did it at the very beginning of the war. He did it. He tried to do it with a capital, and we wished our capital, I think, in our country. And so he tried, coming back to your question. So I lost some villages which are through the border, our border, but people, God bless, people have been saved. And we took 10 years, different people. I mean, this, because you know that he's not looking like yesterday. The day before yesterday, he attacked, and it doesn't matter for him whom to kill. Soldier. He moved people from these villages, and he didn't have success. God bless and help, and also our soldiers, of course, first of all, dozens, thousands of people. So the price of this operation for him was very high. So that is what been changed after our last meeting. Yes. And on the east, situation is difficult. We're still waiting for some equipment to equip brigades. So as I said, equipped it. Yeah, so that's why we don't use them. But I hope that everything will come, especially after NATO summit. We'll have some additional packages with air defense and etc. So that is situation shortly. You see, maybe in Ukrainian, I can answer shortly. If you want, I will. If you want, I will.
Okay. I do the Children's Hospital in Kyiv, and I can hear in your voice how much it hits you, especially as a father.
For me, it's, you know, it's always for everybody. I think it's very sensitive. I'm the father. I'm the president. It's so difficult to lose people. It's so difficult and to lose children. And of course, you see these children are dying or dead. So it's you want to kill Putin at this moment. And of course, all of them, all of us, we want it very much. Really, drinking something. He's not thinking. For him, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. For him, it doesn't matter what's going on in Ukraine. So the attack was what is the tragedy? It was not attack on, and something was not good with a missile or something. No, the missile was exactly to the hospital. It's not the first time.
Do you think that it was meant to strike the day before the start of the NATO summit?
NATO, that his signal. That's his signal to the signal to NATO countries, to all our allies. This is the signal. He will live this way, and he will do this way.
We're defeating about 80% of the Russian air attacks. And I know the air defense systems, as you mentioned, are arriving after this 6-month delay. But I'm wondering if you're able to, as with the systems as you were once doing, now that these new systems are on the way.
So, systems of Patriots, they will help. They will help, of course. It's not enough. It's never enough. And you saw the result: attacks on Kiev, on the capital. So, but you saw that this is not enough, and it can be enough. And these 5 systems will help a lot, but it will not. And the Russian army, they learn, they study each day. They are trying to attack systems to destroy Petra, but it's not enough. They use different missiles, different drones, ballistic, etc. So I mean that, and we have not also to move to make strong steps with air defense, different kinds, more than one, and etc. So.
Yeah, you're hopeful. But let me ask you, ATACMS from firing at targets inside Russia and the restricting the long-range U.S. HIMARS from firing inside Russia unless an attack is imminent on Kharkiv. Some sense or some understanding of what these restrictions mean for your forces and their challenges as a result to conduct an effective campaign against Russia. Some of these bases, air bases.
Yes. So, okay, of course, we have permission to use HIMARS through the country. Is it enough? Of course not. It's only a little number of those troops and bases which from where Russia uses missiles. If you take the example of Kharkiv, so they attack they use per month 3,500. Do we have? Of course, can we use Patriots or something similar? For example, yes, but can we? No, because we doesn't have to use. Doesn't have possibility to use 3,500 missiles of Patriots just to defending. That's why you can't use these guided bombs using jets, where the jets stay on their bases. Do we know these bases? Yes. Yes.
But you're not being allowed to.
But we can't. But somebody except us have to say yes. Yeah, stay on the distance from our border from 150 kilometers to 1,000. But mostly what is very important, from 150 to 500 kilometers. That means that if we have this, then we have, and if we can use it on the territory of Russia, especially on these military targets. If we can do it. Because the guided bomb is the difference between guided bomb and missiles. Of course, missiles can go 2,000 kilometers, yes. But thousands, they don't have thousands of missiles. But they have thousands of such guided bombs. And guided bombs, they can use 100 kilometers. That is the answer. Manage this problem, and children will live, will be alive.
Are the restrictions also you can't strike inside Crimea?
I hope no.
But you don't know?
But I don't know. Because to say to you honestly, and I have to do it, you will understand my English, yes?
Yes.
We can't use everything and everywhere in Crimea. You understand?
Let me ask you another question about Crimea.
Yeah, please.
Will you negotiate with Putin over Crimea if it would end the war?
He will never stop. I think he will love this idea very much, because he need pause in this war. He need pause. That's why I said he's waiting for November. Maybe the policy in the United States maybe will change. I hope that it will never change, and it's very important for him to understand and to know. If any one person, you understand, and that's why he's always waiting how to divide world, how to divide America, how to divide different countries in Europe. Pauses. To speak about Crimea, that the pause he need. He had Crimea. He occupied it in 2014 Crimea. Did he finish? No. Did he stop? He's speaking that he needs Crimea and Donbass and that's all. He's a liar, because he had it before full-scale invasion. He had it, especially Crimea war.
You say everyone is looking towards November.
Yes.
How closely are you following the day-to-day politics here in Washington and in the U.S.?
I think sometimes we are closer than you, Brett.
I don't know about that.
I know, I'm not sure. Yes, and of course, it's not about any messages to be influential. No, this is the choice of American people, and we respect it, of course. But we are trying to understand what will be, because our people, all the changes in the United States. If they will have one or another direction, if the direction will not, biggest strategic partner of Ukraine, the biggest the first one who helped us at the very beginning of the war. Because at the very, very beginning, we've been alone, and it was very difficult to us to survive. We did it, and then your help was very strong message to Europeans. And you joined them, and it was very important. That's why, of course, we have...
There's a lot of focus since the last debate on whether you and other leaders have confidence. I'm not going to ask specifics about that, but I want to turn it to, how do you think Vladimir Putin views President Biden, and how do you think Vladimir Putin views former President Trump?
Putin.
Yeah.
I mean that what is his attitude to Biden and what his attitude to Trump?
From your point of view.
He doesn't love America. and Biden and Trump are very different, but they are supportive democracy. And that's why I think Putin will hate both of them. I think so. But I think that bound on his attitude, because the GDP of United States 10 times bigger than Russia. You can't attitude to Putin as he is a partner. He's small, really small, but when we afraid him, he began to be bigger. And that is the mistake of all the West. including in last 25 or how many years he is Putin. Yeah. So we leader.
The Biden administration has put restrictions on you as far as what you can do. Are you fearful of a Trump administration and what that means for you in this war? Do you fear former President Trump, if he's president again, would pull out of NATO for the U.S. For the Ukraine war?
I don't know that United States will never go out from the NATO. Otherwise, the world will lose a lot of countries, because such people like Putin. We will lose small countries which are the countries which are very sensitive to this topic. And I hope that United States will never seriously think to go out from NATO. I think so, but I'm just sharing with you my thoughts. And I hope that if people of America will not change and will not change.
You don't think he can solve it in one day?
I don't know. I don't know very well him. I don't know. I had meetings with him, and we had good meetings when he was the president. But we in English, but we didn't went through the war with him. And only during the war you have to understand. Even me, I had a lot of in Ukraine. I had a lot of friends. At the very beginning of the war, we lost them because they found another land for them. It's their choice, but this is, that's period. That's why I can't tell you, that what he will do. If he will be the president of the United States, I don't know. That's why I wanted very much. I heard his messages, and some messages yesterday in Twitter, yeah. They've been very, very, sometimes we need answers. For us, it's very important to hold the situation in Ukraine in our unity through the people, not to lose unity through the partners. That's why sometimes these messages also beat us.
Right. Yeah. And I asked you this when I was there about the population in the U.S. that feels like we've spent too much money and we're doing too much, and in 91 borders. Is that still the goal today, or could you see a negotiated settlement that ends this war for you and your people?
The best way, of course, after the first peace summit, to organize and prepare the plan. Putin by majority of the world to put him and to push him to stop the war. This is the best way. And when we speak about territories, you have to know that, first of all, of course, we need to save people, nations. And that's why, and of course, we are not NATO. We don't want him to be on our territory because anyway, it's a frozen conflict. And it will depend on years when he will prepare and come back again with invasion. He will do it.
1938, a potential agreement you're saying with Putin may not work.
No. Oh. I don't know. I think he loves the process. That's the problem. He loves the process, and it doesn't matter what to occupy it. He loves the process and the process, and this is his history, and he will do occupation with military occupation or political occupation of Belarus, like he did it already, from EU direction again back to Russia. Now he's doing. We love Georgian people very much, and I hope that it will not be this way. It will not finish this way. But he loves this process, so it doesn't matter when stop him.
Two more things. President Biden gave you 31 Abrams tanks last year. What happened to those? Did they make a difference?
I'm not sure that such number of tanks can change the situation, the different weapon which helped and etc. So I mean that it's like the dialogue about F-16. You what number?
There's coming this summer, right?
I hope so. You know, we always wait. Like my mother waited me after school, and I always found the reason how to come later. uh, but much more serious, much more serious. Yes, the problem with F-16 and the dates. But to be honest to each self, not to speak just. We have the decision with F-16 jets on the territory of Ukraine, 300 jets. They have more, but they use 300 jets. It's nothing. They have 300. We need because we are defending. We need 128. This is the fleet. All these numbers our partners have. So till moment when we will have 128 with them in the sky. Anyway, it will be difficult.
Last thing,
Yes.
here in the U.S., majority the current political situation. They don't like their choices. They are upset about polls. I can only imagine what it's like to be a foreign country on the other end in the middle of a war. Do you tell the American people that this way for the long haul and why?
This is the long dialogue. Yeah, really. I think mostly people understand, not only our people, common values. We have the same families. We have the same understanding of the life. We are very, very fighting for freedom. Beginning, they understood us. And the moment, as I said previously, that Putin will never stop on Ukraine. And you will see it. If we will not stop him, he will go further and want to show that he can. He has to sell this information to his society. He will go to those countries who are members of NATO but being the parts of the Soviet Union. He will go there and his ambitions. And after that, the people and soldiers and will defend these countries. And it's tragedy for everybody to lose people's sons and daughters. And that's all the world pay a low price. I think so. Maybe I'm not right. But who wants a lot of, if to be pragmatic, Brad? So during the war, of course, we increased a lot of technological progress and with cyber and with drones, with sea drones and etc. So United States, when they gave us weapon, they took from us all this, all our knowledge and all this. You've got it. A lot of companies and etc. And a lot of companies in the United States, they really had and made a big progress in production because the government of the United States pushed there and gave them money and a lot of contracts. So I think it helped. If it's to be pragmatic. So I understand it now. Maybe it's okay, it's their choice, but they will understand it. They will understand it in the future. That the United States made a really right choice, made really to save democracy in the world, and this decision is making now on the territory of Ukraine. It's true.